Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shri Jagan Mataram Devim Stitadhi Padmakasanam Hridaya Sagaratitam Gomatim Pranatosmyaham Om. So in our last class, we were talking about the difference between a knowledge and a belief, an understanding and a belief, and how this difference come through with a sort of capacity of discrimination. This capacity of discrimination is nourished through the study itself. And actually, what the teacher is doing when he is like teaching Vedanta is not about giving new informations, new names for things like, first I would have a job, now I have a karma yoga to do. Then, no, the change of names does not change anything actually. Just some people say, I understand Vedanta. What does Vedanta say? I am the Atma. Hey, Atma is I in Sanskrit, only that. In any text, even in the Vedas, if some places Atma will be there as I. I am I, it is not an equation, you know. So I am Atma only works because or the person does not know what this is all about, and it's talking about a Sanskrit word, and then as if it was telling something. Or the person knows, and okay, it's just the way to express itself, because in Vedanta we learn the true nature of Atma, of I. So we can say, I'm learning what is I, I'm learning what is Atma, is the same thing. But actually, you know, I've met a lot of Vedanta students, a lot of people that are like sincere studies, that they just hide behind the names, you know. And then we have some nice and like wordful explanations about what is Vedanta. Vedanta is about understanding what is Ishvara, and Ishvara and Atma are the same. But you know, if the person does not know what is Ishvara, or does not know what is Atma, telling that Atma and Ishvara are the same does not make any sense. So what is really the knowledge, what is really the teaching, is not about giving an equation. It's about taking out the ignorance of the words that are in the equation. So let's imagine, we can say, I don't know how to say this in English, but anyway, a mathematical equation. If I say that the root of 144 is 12. That's okay. It's easy. I could say this. It's 12. How does this work? If the person knows what is root, what is 12 and 144, then there is no equation actually. There is no need for an equation. But if the person does not know what a root means, then you have something to explain. You have something to explain, you know? So it's just like this. If you say Ishvara and Atma are the same, and the person thinks he knows what is Ishvara and what is Atma, there is no teaching going to happen. The whole point is that we don't know what is Ishvara, and also we don't know what is Atma, because if you say Ishvara and Atma are the same, and you just know one of them, you should know the other also. So there is a double mistake. I cannot understand what is Ishvara, Ishvara meaning like the order, the cosmic person, God, the cause of the creation. I cannot understand what is this. And also I cannot understand who am I. And it comes through that both are the same. This is the proposition. So now, actually, Sanskrit words can actually sometimes be an obstacle, not something very helpful. Because if this is an equation I have to understand, so it's better that the words used to explain this equation for me is something clear for me. Not something that will give me a spiritual kick that I'm now talking about with some different new words, you know. I should explain with my own words, who am I? And with my own words, what is God? And if I am able to do this explanation, this means that the equation is working. And then there is no need to tell, Vedanta tells that Ishvara and Atma are the same. No, Ishvara and Atma are the same, so you cannot even write the equation. The equation just comes because you expect the other person not to know what you know. So, can you tell me briefly what Vedanta means? Actually, you can't. Because it takes very long years to be able to understand what is Vedanta all about. So it's better you tell that Vedanta is a search for happiness. Vedanta is an effort to understand a proper way of living and to find our true nature. Then the person has something to hold and to understand where to go. I'm saying that because this class we are going to talk about the modern way of presenting the old tradition. And when something old is presented in a modern way, there will be always some things that are good and some things that are not good. So if you take the Vedas as an example, of course, of how this knowledge is presented, the knowledge is never presented as something dry and, let's say, direct, you know? Take Taittiriya Upanishad, for example. How he presents the knowledge, he would say, Om Brahmavit apnoti param tadesha abhyukta satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Who knows what is Brahma will gain the highest. Everybody is trying to gain something. The person who knows what is Brahma will gain the most, will be the winner. Look how it is interesting. The way it's presenting the knowledge is not about telling the messages that Ishvara and Brahma are the same and Ishvara, Atma and Brahma and the world is mithya. No. And then, when you listen to that, the mentality that we were talking about winning, about being in the world and etc., will connect to the knowledge. And actually it's true. What can give us more than knowledge? Nothing. So whoever knows what is Brahma, he will win. He may not win the competition, the material competition of the world, but he will win in his heart, his own inner peace and everything. So it's true. And the way it is spoken has some sort of poetry, not only the, let's say, the abstract knowledge in itself. It's not dry, you know. Let's take another example. Kena Upanishad. Keneshitam padati preshitam manaha. The student starts the Upanishad asking a question. That's why Kena. Kena means how, in which way. In following whose orders? Why? How? My mind goes to this object or that object. I can see that there is an order. I can see that there is an intelligence. Why? Who determines the way my mind works? Who determines the way my prana works? My body. Where does this word comes from? Look, it's very profound. He does not saying, you are not the mind, I'm not the body. And when you see this modern Vedanta, the way it's presented, they try to simplify things maybe, or just tell the message, but actually the message is not really being told, because it's not about telling a message. That's the whole point. The point is that the person who is listening to the message cannot understand the elements inside the message. So if you just tell the message, you giving the other person a fake understanding. Not that the person is fake, he's a sincere seeker, but he will have a fake idea in his mind that he is understanding. Because after all, I can understand Ishvara is God, I am Ishvara are the same. Well, okay, I can accept that somehow. It would be very nice if I'm God. Say, it's not like that. This body and mind, they are not God, don't worry. This is not the understanding. And God is not a person sitting somewhere very powerful that can do whatever he wants in the world. So if you are God, I can do whatever I want. No, this is not, God is not this and you are not that. So this equation does not work. God is not this, you are not that. Ishvara and Atma are the same. It does not work. The equation is Tattvamasi. That is you. But when you say that is you, what I mean with the word that should be very clear. What I mean with the word you have also to be very clear. So the process of learning is basically creating the context and the situation for us to understand what is that and what is this. So that when the equation comes, it does not need an explanation. It's just a matter of seeing the equation and assimilating it. So if you take a look in Kena Upanishad, he will start the Kena Upanishad asking the questions that everybody asks about how this thing works, how is the word like that. There is no other way. When you look Kato Upanishad, it starts with a story. So the Vedanta teaching really starts when Nachiketas asks Yama, Lord of Death. Nachiketas is a small boy. He was sent by his father to serve the Lord of Death by mistake. Because he was in a ritual, and during the ritual he ended up getting annoyed with his son and just said, go to hell, and he went. Because it was in the ritual, whatever you say, you should do. And that boy went there. And then when he was facing Lord Yama, Lord Yama gave him 3 boons. Say, my little boy, you came to visit me. I was so busy. After all, the Lord of Death, every time somebody's dying, he was out killing someone. And then when he came back, he said, my God, you waited for 3 days. I should give you something. What should I give you? Please tell me. I want to make you happy. You are a Brahman, you are a Brahmani boy also. You're not like... And Lord Yama's wife was at home, and they could not put the boy in also because they were all women. And then they have these ideas, you cannot bring a man inside when the husband is not there. So he received 3 boons. And one of the boons he used in the right manner, and he asks, tell me, Lord Yama, everybody is talking about what's going to happen when I die. What's going to happen when I die? But if I die, nothing is bound to happen because I'm dead. But I understand that people, when they ask what's going to happen when I die, they imagine there is something that's not dying. And with this something will happen. That's what they want to know. But what I want to know is, what is this something that is free from your power? You are the Lord of Death, but you cannot kill this. This that you cannot kill, you tell me, because this must be what I really are. I'm not concerned about if I'm going to heaven or hell, wherever, where I'm going to reincarnate. No, I want to know who am I? Very profound question. There is no person in earth that listens to the story does not want to know what the Lord Yama has told. You know, this is a tradition. That the tradition means that the knowledge is presented in a way that we are able to chew it, we are able to listen it. Some people also sometimes will present knowledge as something very hard. There's another problem. The first one is it's dry. The second is hard. Like, if you want to listen to Vedanta, first you should be a vegetarian. Second, you should not drink alcohol. Third, you should not sleep during the day. Fourth, you should not say any bad words. Fifth, whenever you go to a temple, you should know the mantra to chant. After all, you are going to a temple. And you have to do your daily meditation. You have to do this, you have to do that, you have to do this. In the end, you go to the ashram, and there are ashrams like that they are Vedanta ashrams, where people just do disciplines the whole day. There is no teaching. People are just praying and singing, what is good, okay, there is nothing bad about it, but there is no teaching going on. Because there is too much discipline, too much ideas and tapas and things that people are doing. And the most important thing that is to operate the Vedas and to receive the teachings from the Guru, that is not happening. So this is a second type of obstacle. The idea that there is a tremendous amount of effort that has to be done together with Vedanta, so that Vedanta works, or should be done before Vedanta. And there are some places that you go in India and in any place in the world actually, where people say, oh, you want to learn? Okay, so first you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, and after 4 or 5 years, you are waiting when the Vedanta class will start. Oh, the teacher has not come yet, so what is happening? That's not a traditional way of doing. It's the tradition. Traditionally, we do seva. Yeah, this is true. Like, we help the teacher wherever we can. But in reality, if my interest is about learning Vedanta, this should be always there. There should not be a day in the ashram that I don't really open the book and read something about the subject matter, you know. This is very important. So this objective. But, you know, there is some truth also in doing a lot of effort before studying. Because the mind needs some sort of like purification to be able to really engage in a spiritual path. But listen carefully. Before studying. I don't say during study. Before studying, the mind needs all these disciplines. As the study progresses, the amount of discipline has to be less, so that you have time to study and also to be a person. Because if you do a huge amount of disciplines and also a huge amount of study, you cannot have a family. You cannot like go for a walk in the afternoon. All this is not possible because it's 6 hours studying Vedantas, 3 hours studying Sanskrit, 4 hours doing this, it's not going to happen like that. So the effort is important. But the effort of a person that is receiving this knowledge is to contemplate on the ideas that are being explained and not on a lot of religious practices. So this is the second type of obstacle that we will find. The first one, dry. I just want to say the message. The second one, we put a lot of effort before. Then there is another type of obstacle also. Third type of obstacle. That is like this. The message is said in a nice way, and there are Vedanta classes every day. But there is looseness. Looseness means, I don't know if maybe you have the opportunity to listen to Tattva Vedananda. Did you have? in the ashram, no, he's the opposite of looseness. When he talks, you know, you lose your looseness. You cannot stand there and listen to him and like just be a common person, like in terms of, oh, I'm very lazy, I don't know if I'm going to do meditation, this and that. He's so, like, the mind is so bright and so bold when he speaks. And he does not use the basic logic that we are used to, like, oh, let's suppose, oh, my friend, you really want to listen to Vedanta. Understand, Vedanta needs the cleaning of the mind. You have a lot of emotions. The emotions, they are a burden to life sometimes. You have to be able to deal with them. So to be able to deal with the emotions, you should do yoga, you should practice this, you should do that. In general, we do that like this. Let's explain to people why they should do. He does not do like that. He just says like this. I never met a Vedanta teacher that is not expert in meditation. If you think you don't need to meditate, good luck. You just go out and start meditation at the doorstep, actually, you know, because the mind suddenly gets some sort of urgency, and it's not established by logic. It's established by some sort of inner strength that we get going through the process of learning. We don't need to explain the other person why it should be done. If the person really trusts, you can just say, it's like this. And if you trust me, you come. If you don't trust me, you try whatever you think it's true. Don't bother me. Wow. Something inside, just, you lose the looseness. And okay, I'm going to test. Even if I don't believe, or I'm going to see if it works or not. You cannot know if a microscope works without looking into the microscope. You cannot know. You cannot know if this movie is good if you don't go to the movie theater and watch the movie. You cannot know. You cannot know if meditation really helps you in your daily life if you don't engage in meditation. You cannot know. There is no need to explain because we are not talking about in Mars. You are talking about something very objective. Sit and meditate. Listen to a class. Engage this activity. If it's just a matter of doing, the explanation comes later. After it works, you come to understand why it is working so well. Oh, Swamiji, very nice this meditation. Can you explain what is happening to my mind? I'm just getting everything clear. Then he will say, the meditation takes out the impurities of the mind. Oh, very nice. But that's not the reason why we do. The reason is the trust that was built between the student and the disciple before that. And one thing that also breaks this trust is that when the person speaks, and there are a lot of teachers that does that, they not necessarily did the process that they are asking people to do. So they themselves does not have the strength in the heart to say, do this. Because I have not done. I know it is good. So you do it. It will be good for you, I believe. You know, this does not work. You know. But once you say, look, I went to a Jyotisham, like an astrologer, and he was very good, and he helped me very much. You are a problem that's very similar to mine. Go. I'm 100% sure it will help you. You know. You just go. Out of what? Of understanding? No. Out of trust. So this ability to transfer the trust and like really having passed through the process, make ourselves like lose the laziness and lose all these things. So this is the third type of obstacle. So the first type, dryness, let's tell the message. The second type, hardness, like let's put a lot of disciplines. And the third time, looseness. We just go to the class, you know, because Swamiji is there, and Swamiji being there, just being sitting there is going to be a very benefit. And then during the class we are looking in Facebook, or drawing on the notebook. And then, like, by the end of the class, also this happened. The person listened to the class, oh, the class it was wonderful, Swamiji. I'm very happy to be here. You are a wonderful teacher. And then they go out of the class and behave like children. Like, they just forget whatever happens in the class, like watching a movie. You just watch and it's very nice. But it's not connecting to the life. So you become loose. And to lose this looseness, I will tell you, it's only a blessing. A blessing of having the correct teachers. And a blessing of having the right disciplines to follow. When you do that, something in the mind starts to get some sort of like commitment. A commitment to understand. Maybe the explanation should be, oh, I did so much effort in learning and qualifying myself that now that I'm here in the class, well, I must at least pay attention. But actually, there is no way we can explain. It's just like this. If you take seriously, you will get it. If you don't take seriously, there is no chance that you will get it. There is no chance. If you take serious, there is a chance. If you don't take serious, there is no chance. No chance. No chance at all. Because you're not going to, like, stumble upon yourself walking the street and then by chance, oh, this is Ishvara. I just met Ishvara. Huh? This is Atma. Eh? Now I got it. Now I got it. I was all this time thinking, Swamiji, what is Atma? I'm a teacher. I was all the time thinking. Now I was cooking. And while I was cooking, I just see, yes, it is this. No, knowledge does not happen like that. You know what prevents knowledge to happen? One of the main components of the personality is pain. Emotional pain that are hidden in our identifications. You cannot just say, I was cooking and then the knowledge came. You know why? Because the knowledge is hidden behind pain, is hidden behind the ignorance. And ignorance, pain, emotions, they go out with effort. We go out with processing, we go out with talking, with therapy, with a lot of things. So if all these ideas are not clear, when I start to study, I just think that one day I will learn with no effort. And it does not happen like that. How do we learn this in our lives? This piece of knowledge. How? When we are in school or in university, sometimes we used to have this difficult, let's say, subject that we are studying. And then we go to the class and we understand everything. But when we do the exercise, we're not able to do it. Isn't it true? That we're not able to do. And then what we discover? There are so many exercise homework I don't want to do. Okay. You don't want to do is okay, but you're not going to learn. So, if you want to pass the subject in the university, you have to put the effort for that. So, all the subject has an effort associated with the study. And the effort associated with Vedanta study is to become a better person. And if you don't put this effort, there is no chance that when the exam came, and what's the exam for Vedanta? There is no exam in the end of the course, okay? But what's the exam? The crisis in life. The moments that we really need this knowledge, that things are not going as we have planned. When these moments come, there is no way that this knowledge is going to be with us, because we not did the homework. So unless we lose the looseness, and engage in what this knowledge is asking me to do, the knowledge is not going to stay with me. So these three pieces of ideas should be in our mind when we listen to the way Vedanta and spirituality is presented nowadays. A lot of places, they would just say, here you can just practice yoga in the most beautiful spa with organic food, and there is a ofuro tube in the backyard of each room, and then you're being received with some flowers in the bed. And this is not yoga spa. Yoga and spa does not go together. Yoga and cave go together. Yoga and spa does not go together. Yoga is about the person taking out the comfort, like I don't need a comfortable place to be happy. And then you are providing a better comfortable place than the house that the person is living. This does not work. There is looseness. So of course we don't need to be in a cave, but you have to do it in a way that the person understands what he should do. You cannot expect to take a person to a big feast with all the types of things to eat, food, drinks and everything, and say, eat just a little. Eat just a little, okay? Don't eat too much. There are 40 different types of food to taste, but eat just like one small, you cannot do it. So when you present the knowledge, you cannot present in a spa mode, because the person will not understand that he has to take his personality out. He will not understand. Some people, the second part, will come and explain Vedanta, and when they explain Vedanta, they will give so much disciplines and things to do. The same problem. There is no way Vedanta can happen. And at the same time, if you just tell the message or say, no, this is Neo-Vedanta, just stay with yourself. Nothing else. Forget the world. It is false. Hey, this sentence takes years and years and years and years to be understood. And the guy just tell in one shot that the world is false, and he pretends and speaks in a way that we are supposed to accept it. If I could see the world as false, I was not going to come to the class. I would be happy at home with myself, the only true thing. But I cannot see the world as false. So speaking slowly that the world is false, just understand that the world is false. It's not going to happen because you cannot understand without explaining. So the explanation is very important. So these three things are like the safe belt to study Vedanta. If these three things are present, if the teacher is good, you will learn. Nothing else is needed. No. So here we stop the first half. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Harihi Om